Okay, I guess we can probably stop this music now. Okay. Let me see if I'm live. How do I find out? This is the first time I'm doing this live on YouTube. And yes, it does say, looks like it may be working. So, we're gonna find out. Let me see if so now boo 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 doo boo doo doo. I'm currently testing a few things, see if like this is on YouTube like I said, so I'm testing to see if the tweets are going. Looks like it is not doing that unless, let me see if I can. Okay, so I'll have to work on that. Okay, let's get started. All right. Hello. I'm going to color Qidan, this character. So first I need to pick the right music. I think I'm going to continue with this album. It's Porky's Anesthetize. It's kind of hard to say. It's their live album. Some of my favorite Porcupine Tree songs are in this. With me, or actually Arriving Somewhere, but Not Here is Not Here, but that's a good one too. Way Out of Here. Anyway, it'll do the job. So I see. I have kind of controls of every single audio lever here. I might have to adjust. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna color this guy. I'm gonna lower the volume of that a lot more. So first step, take a look at my layers. I have the pencils and inks. So this was the pencils, and now we did the inks. I'll maybe talk about that on another video, all that stuff, inking and color. Is going to be mainly on coloring. So phase one is what's called flatting. And here's how, so essentially what we want to do is color every single frame, right? And we want to for certain things. And we're going to do that by different colors, so later we can select those colors in areas if we want to. So I like starting with the biggest object. That's basically, right, everything. This way of doing is using the select tool, and we'll just pick ear. It's as good as any. So that's it. Pretty. This is probably the most like boring part of the process, but it's kind of like gessoing the canvas a little bit, where you should do it. Right? You should do it. At least the first one, when big. Usually I'll select like the entire frame, just do one right over the entire frame. And we're gonna do something similar with this one as well. So like I'll select all the arrows in here. Okay. Some things will have to get fixed at a later date. Now the ink I'm using, the brush, is called Strathon 3.0. Well, technically the one I'm using is called 4.0 because I modified it. And I made it so it's a little bit more like a brush pen that I'm used to. That's all. Darker, basically. But it still has Bristol board texture, which is really nice. Because it looks cool, but it also looks like it has all these holes, right, everywhere. And that's part of its, I guess, charm. You know? We're just gonna turn it around and just keep following the most edge of this area. Oh no, did it just like destroy the whole thing? Nope. Okay. I thought that was a... that would have sucked. Alright. Let's get this one right. So this is interesting. It's gonna fade off, but I'm still gonna get it like a general idea of it, I suppose. I need to fix that area a little, maybe later. Grit and guts. Hey. Nice. Excellent, man. Let's keep drawing. What are you drawing? Grit and guts. I love it. Alright, well, almost done with Fit That. So one song, one prog song. Now let's fill this one his skin tone. Let's make him a little pinker. I think that might be a good one. Yeah. Okay, So notice how there's some areas we can kind of remove in the middle here. There was one, I think, here and there. With that stuff later. Actually, that might be a good time. So now we're gonna do, you can select the gaps. You can simply hit the plus sign and just select all the gaps one after another. Hit the plus again. Now we're gonna get this middle area. Ooh, did I get it right? Nope. Plus. All right, right there. Now we can clear it. Look at that little triangle there. Oh, there's another. They are everywhere, but in the arrows. Let me see here. Yeah, let's add that one too. I think that's going to be enough for that. Let me just go this up a little bit here. Okay, so that's all the color is going to go into that area, basically. And I'm going to pick that background color. I think it's this one. There we go. So we gray. A crowd of zombies? Damn, that's gonna take a while. Oh my god. Yeah, right. I'm doing one dude. Let me make this darker a little bit. Okay. I think that might. Okay, so that's interesting because it looks way more pink on the screen than it does in front of me. I'm gonna keep it a little bit on the brighter side. Too pink, too yellow, right? Maybe give it more saturated look. It's an elf, right? So who knows? Alright, we're just gonna fiddle with it around there for now. Okay, next layer. This is going to be all the armor. Why not? So now essentially I can mask this layer and I can do it's gonna make the color, and I made a simple brush that's just called flatter, and it really just does that just for flatting. It is still sensitive, so I can get little areas if I want to, but from now on I'm just gonna use that tool. So oh, what color should it be though? This is all wrong here. Needs to be a clipping mask. There we go. That stuff kind of dark green color for now. Let's keep it kind of mid saturation here. Maybe a little bit brighter. Maybe a little bit more towards yellow. Okay. Notice I can go out. Well, I guess you can't see what I'm really doing, but I'm just going nuts outside of this area right now and staying in. So it really helps to do the big cut in the beginning. For this kind of stuff, I can use the internal, right? Because it's too inside. I can just grab this whole area. Old school. This is old school now. And then we just fill. Now, what I'm gonna do actually is color kind of where the armor is, and I will color the hair on top of it. So I'm gonna go a little bit bigger than. It's going to help because the hair is gonna intertwine. So. I'm just gonna go outside as if I am doing the we can just boop boop. Oh yeah. Technically, let's say this whole area, right? He's wearing clothes there. Ooh. Just gonna delete that. Now the quick tip, if you press and hold on the erase, it'll just erase with the current brush of your, so you don't have to like constantly switch out what you're doing. Alright, so that's his armor and bracers. Next, why not, let's get the hair. New layer. This will also be a clipping mask. And he has red hair. Kind of on the little bit of an orangish side. So I'm gonna make his hair a little saturated and bright for now. And we'll see what I end up doing later. I already know it's gonna be darker, so there you go. Yep. I can actually start laying the, just start these thin brush lines in there to show. Let me show you about doing these thin lines up here. Look how much messier it looks when you zoom into a drawing. It's just a mess of lines here. It wasn't that precise. Figured it keeps it a little rough. This is kind of a mess down here though. It feels like I couldn't decide whether to do a straight line or a bunch of little hairlines. All right. So back there, that's his ear. I think I'm gonna make it that color. leave it that color there. Let's get the eyebrows actually while we're doing this. All right. Thanks, man. Guts and grit and guts. Yeah, like you can zoom to pixel level with it. It's kind of nerve-wracking sometimes because it's like, where do you stop? You know? Why did you stop where you stopped? You know? Because you can just keep. Let me link in my legs. I love that line. Okay, nice. Okay. So the bow is going to be just slightly darker version of his hair. So we kind of use the similar colors. And now I'm going to do a little clipping mask. And that's just going to be for the bow. Look how easy that makes that, right? Ugh. Some coffee on his hands. That's right. I think the rest of this bow might be pretty easy. Okay, so that's done. Now let's do these little hand intricate things. So that, what should that be a part of his own layer for now? But it's going to be the same color as that mainly, either way. Clipping mask. Make this maybe a little desaturated, but at the same. Ugh, what just happened there? Temperature. I think I could do this one with the selection tool actually. Sometimes they're easier that way. This is the same object here, so this weird like get the plus sign to keep selecting. Just gotta trust that clipboard when you're doing this. Feels like the highest risk I'm taking with my life. Oh my god, okay, there we go. Okay, so that's what else? He's got a few other things that we need to flat out. Now he's got this feather area back there. First of all, let's fix the hair. I don't want it to you know, and let's get the eyebrow. Okay, so when I want to fix the main frame, I have to go down to that base layer and just kind of get the edges out. Like there's something I saw over here, that, right? Hunting. Okay. I'm gonna do the feathers and the shoulder thing with the same color, and that's grayish. Let's go on the yellower side of things, but more bright. Okay, maybe more color. Let's see what that looks like. Let's clip that. Okay, that's fine. So see, you do the edges once and then you never have to do it again. Let's go back to the green layer. More of that in there, fix that. Okay, let's go back to the feathers. We'll go up. Let's go ahead and give it these little and these arrows back here. You know what, I'm actually going to use the selection tool with these. I feel like it's going to be a little easier because I can just do this, hit add. And then fill, boom. Oh yeah, the jewelry. Let's make that part of the armor, actually. I'm also going to make this part of the armor too in a second. So I'm just going to select the area and erase it from the hair layer, and you can hold the selection tool, press and hold to select the same thing. And then now I'm going to fill the layer with the other one. So that's flatting. That was 30 minutes. But give or take, most of the work is done. Next, I'm going to do finer, some color changes, starting with the armor. That's crazy green, and right, we don't like that. So let's go to hue. Maybe a little bit more towards yellow, a little bit there, less saturated. Too dark. That's decent right there. Okay. So another fun trick, I'm going to turn alpha lock on this layer. So now it becomes kind of its own little clipping area where now I can't actually paint in that layer anywhere, you see, side of it. And this is when I'm going to add the secondary color of yellow on it. I'm just going to pick a random now, see if I like it, but let me lower its opacity so they kind of mix a little bit. Right, if I didn't do that, it would just go like that. So now I press and hold on that to select that, and now that's my new color. So they're just kind of a little bit more when I do these like sub-layer coloring, I call it. I have a name for that. Doesn't really make sense. But now I can go outside like that. I can do long gestures. I don't have to worry about going nuts, you know. This will really help when I'm doing shading. Well, this is just helping, I guess, throughout the entire process. See, like now I can just color under that. And if I want to change something, it's just a lot easier. Now the filling gets pretty hard when the color is this thin, because it'll fill the entire layer usually. But so you have to lower the threshold. And look at the edges when they start swallowing, like before, right about here, there is a thin line. You're going to slowly cross that thin line and pull back right before. Yeah, it's painful. So let's go ahead and do this kind of a thing here. And now we can do this, right? Quickly get over. And we'll just go through with that and fill that. So now he's got the shoulder pad done. Now we're going to go with this layer here. Oh, we'll select. I'm pretty sure that's his hair right there. I actually don't have to be that precise. Right, I can just kind of do something like this, but then go in to find detail there, and then just fill that. Put the little dot. Nah, digital coloring. You know? Okay, let's get the hair out again. Go to the hair layer. Fill these little hairs, I guess. Okay. Let's do the same thing to the bracers. We're gonna pick that color. Okay. I think I'm just gonna do that here. Sometimes it's almost easier to just go ahead and interesting. So I need to remove the alpha lock temporarily to fix that. I love that. That looks like an iPhone there. It's hilarious. This I'm gonna do selection. And I can subtract now, so I can hit plus and then do this selection and hit remove. So now when I hit the fill layer, it gets that in there. So you can do these selections. You can go out, remember. I need to remember. Okay. So with the belt, let's just do something like this here. Kind of want this whole area to be in the yellow side of things. Okay, so let's make these things on his lap there almost wider, maybe a little darker. There we go. Let's see, and let me see if I can break that color a little bit with the opacity. Yeah, there you go. Let's select that one, delete it. I can quickly just paint over this area. But with the leg there, I should be able to also, there we go. Select, and looks like I need to fix the alpha right here. Whoop, too crazy. Now, let's go to the other leg. Okay, this thing is going to be that color actually, so we're gonna make the jewelry on the desaturated side to give it a little bit more of a. Now I want actually the belt to be, yeah, like yellow outside of it like that. So now let's go ahead and do that. Actually, let's just color on the belt. Okay, so I think all the major colors are laid out. Now we can go a little bit better on the eyes here. So let's get this white. That's actually its own base layer, right? So I can easily do another clipping layer to actually deal with face details. So eyes are not actually white. So what I do is I get the white color and then break it. I might be not broken enough. There we go. So he's blind here. So I'm gonna make that sad a little later, but right now we're just gonna do that. And then let's get the lips. Actually, let's pick that color, make it redder, and break it. Let's break it more. Too red. It's a little better. Oh. I'm just gonna clear the lips really quick. Well, I don't have to. Okay. I do like this color. So let's make it like that for a second. Okay, I think that's good enough. Kind of like the inside the ear color also. It's like a weird bat creature. Let's go with the arrow layer really quick and we'll get some dark brown. A little too saturated. It was like chocolate. I'm just going to move the hair layer to the very top there so it'll make this happen. Okay, so I'm going to have some color in these feathers here right now actually, but not direct. You know what, let's deal with this. Yeah, let's get some green on the bow handle. We didn't do anything with that yet. This part. Okay, so let's break it though. There we go. I think this is the one. That's right, because everything is above that. Okay. I'm trying to erase. There we go. Now we can alpha lock the bow. Since it's alpha locked, it should not be able to go outside, and I can color around the fingers pretty quickly. Okay. And I want this middle to be kind of yellowish, so let's figure out what the blend color will be. That's nice, little mustard. Okay. So let's talk about the feathers. I think they're way too bright. Let's go to that layer here. And I'm just going to make it a little darker. But let me saturate them a little bit too. I don't want them to just to go like, yeah, there we go. That's a little better. There we go. So I'm also going to... I didn't mean to do that. There we go. I can exit out next. This middle guy here, I want it more yellow. Let's see if we can, maybe even brighter. Might be bright. Let's take it down a little bit. I like that. There we go. Okay. Let's get some colors in the eyes. He's got green eyes. And it's like offensive green. That is offensive green. Alright, let's break that a little bit. There we go. That's good. Definitely going to add some shading madness to that. So that is flatting. I have all the layers down. Let's take a look. Let's see what we did. So first, the entire thing we need to color, and then armor, bow. This way, like if I need to adjust the whole thing, I can easily do so, right? The arm straps, that seems to be dead on. And then bow and face on the very bottom. Let's put that on the very top actually. There we go. I could group all this and all that, but next, the actual shading. Blind Archer. Excellent. Okay. Let's continue for a little bit more. I'm gonna have a little break. In 10 minutes, gotta walk the dogs, but I'll just come back after. We'll see how it goes. Now, let's go ahead and move on to shading just a little bit at least. First, we have to figure out where the light is coming from. So I'm just going to picture it like kind of here, going this way, right? And next, we need to figure out what the core shadow line is, and where the objects, like if the light's coming from here. Let's see here. Most of you know this. Just gonna get rid of that layer for now. So I'm going to use these layers to shade that also, but don't want to get into that just yet. So I'm going to use the main thing for now. Okay, we'll just use the other clipping layer on the very top. And to determine the shadow, I'm going to use the base color we have, which is dark blue. That's going to be the darkest I want to get, actually, right? Because I also don't want to compete with the line art. And I'm going to make that as a multiply layer. Did I just miss it? Okay, there we go. And I'm going to use the stat graphite to determine the core shadow lines. So let's see here, overall picture. Where should I start? Well, I got some indication right here. Looks like I already made that while I was doing inks. So I can easily start with that. I'm gonna make this thing a little bigger. And it's okay if it kind of like moves around. Every object has a has a path to it, right? Every little kind of imagine something like that happening here. Might be too low for a light to actually not be able to hit that, so it would be more likely going around this way. Just gonna do a vague line right now here, definitely on his face on the right side. This we can probably just start toning already a little bit. I already kind of started here a little bit. It's all going to be in the shadow. Very rough right now. Yeah, all this is going to be cast shadow. So the thing about having multiple different tools that have different textures, it can start competing and looking kind of weird. So I'm not sure how much I like this one yet, but the shadow zones are essentially all going to be toned now. Whatever falls in the other side of this line has to be toned. And these feathers too, like I was going to add more color to them, I didn't do that yet. I didn't do a line here, but it would be something like that. You can just kind of go through them at this point. This area should be in shadow, but maybe not that crazy. So if we hold the erase tool to essentially take on the same brush, so we can take back some of the ones that maybe not so good there. Oh yeah, forget about that side. So also, it turns out I don't like this color for the shadow. I'm gonna try something more on the red spectrum. I actually don't like shadows on this thing at all right now. I'm just gonna get rid of them for now. I'll do a little lighter since the light is from the front here. Maybe the sides. Not even that much though, that's a little too harsh, especially since I line doing the same job there. Let's clear out this one here, okay. So this is kind of a mess right here. Let's kind of clean that up. I don't want the cast shadows to be that crazy. And yeah. Let's just add a little bit of a backlight kind of a thing there. I mean, I'm also going to add some shade to the stuff on the other side. Okay. So yeah, that's just what it is. Adding, shading, going through. Just think about it in terms of panels, like where each thing is facing, and how much light would be hitting it. You know, if the light's coming from the top, these sides of the fingers are not going to be lit up top. Right, so. Okay. Like actually that's on the top, but I also feel like it's going to be on their area. So I'm just going to add a little bit of a shade to that. I feel like this whole thing is going to be in some kind of darkness right here. And this whole thing is basically the quads, top of the quads. And let's add some little refinements in his abs here. There's a whole muscle missing, but he's also an elf, so whatever, right? Hey, if you could tell me which muscle is missing. Let me go ahead and fix a little bit. I feel like it was way too dark. There has to be something like that there. Oh. Oop. This is also a new thing I'm doing. Like I would usually do shadows with flat also. Like just using the flat pen shading areas, kind of like how I did the entire flatting area. I would just shade the same way too. But I'm having fun doing it like this now, so lips, they're always darker. The light's from the top. just gonna have this entire area. Say shadow a little bit. Some cast shadow here. You know, actually the eyes will also have some shadows. But since he's blind, he's just gonna have, you know, a dead eye. Maybe like a faded pupil. Ugh, that's creepy. Maybe I'll just have it just a little darker. Like a hint of something that was once there. There's a curvature to every one of these facets too. So I'm only doing the shadows right now. There's a whole, essentially it's a 3-step process. Shadows, and then the highlights, and then like a little bit of both. Orth and balance everything. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm not really happy with the color of the shadows. Change that. I feel like there's just, it's also a little too messy around here, but whatever. Okay. Some areas I really don't like. Some things need to be really dark. That's the other thing too. These eyelids will be darker, but the bottom will be actually highlighted. This middle panel, I'm gonna have it under light. A little bit darker on that side. Okay. They're usually pretty dark just because even though that's pretty much in the light there, I'm still gonna add some darkness to it to show like it's going into his, oh, that's gonna be dark there. Oop, too much. Okay. I think I'm ready for that color change. So blue, and it's a little too intense. Let's go ahead and make that maybe red. It's so dark, it's hard to, maybe if I go back for a second, that we can kind of see what we're doing. Oh, it's almost time to take the doggies out. That's what that looks like normally. All right. Okay, method number 2. We go pick a dark red, select the layer, then fill the layer. Now let's go ahead and multiply that. Interesting. I don't hate it. Okay. Let's see what we can do with its hue. This might be the right color for the shadows. Green is interesting too. So now we're just kind of picking what color shadows we want for this drawing. That's interesting. A little cyan. I do. What color is that actually? Let's take a look at it normal. It's like this tall blue color, huh? Yeah. So for the highlights, I'm actually going to pick, let me show it to you like this. Same color, but go a little bit more to the center. But this time I kind of went yellower too. Very similar idea. We're gonna screen that, but I'm also going to do it half opacity. And we're just gonna create highlights. Is this clipping? Nope, it's not. So we're gonna make that clip. Since this is metal, like I can technically have these sharp edges to show that. So there's definitely some up here in the face that I want to fix. Right, I don't even like how it's shaded right now. I'm just going over the highlights really quick. Definitely have to remove some of the shading there. These guys are gonna get some light, a little more. Okay, let's fix that face real quick. Okay. Okay, so this side technically will be in the shadow because of the light a little bit, even though the light's like right here, right from the top left. So okay, not really shadow in the left side there. I'm just gonna do them on the right side for now. This whole front part is a little indented down, so we gotta show that a little bit. That's showing it a lot though, so just a little bit like that, maybe even less than that. Like that's enough. Maybe a little bit on the right as it starts curving. Like this should be right in the neck here. I don't know what I was thinking there. That will be in the shadow right here. This could get covered up at this point. And give us the other hair there. Okay, so you get the idea, right? You just do this for 13 more hours. No, don't do that. Okay, let me fix that little corner there. I want it to show the angle a little bit better. There we go. And at any point, if I change my mind about color or the intensity of the shadow, I can. I'm gonna make this area a little cleaner now. Maybe get rid of the shadow. That's a little bit too. Let's just go over it. So I'm kind of trying to show the curvature of where the feathers are, right? Bring the ones that are facing us up a little bit. Let's kind of tone these muscles a little bit here. Should be very little over here. Never forget the bouncing light from the other side. There's always something. You know, when you're in the world, there's always something. It kind of creates that curvature even better. Okay, so this is certainly in progress, and on the way victory. But if I don't walk the dogs right now, they'll be really upset. I'm definitely going to continue coloring this, possibly tonight. I'll just come back in like 15-20 minutes and start stream. So if you're around, you can join me then, and then we'll finish this off together. But it's not an official thing, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm digging this right now, and I'm totally in the zone. Yeah, like that area is pretty good there. I kind of just had a happy little incident there. I'm liking this method, having a very saturated you know, coloring, essentially a shadow shading tool. Look at that there. It's gonna go inside, yep. Let me just finish this bracer too. Maybe give this a thick little line here. I think lowering the opacity by half was the thing this thing needed for doing shadows, because give this a little tone here. Maybe give this side a little tone as well. It's a little darker tone. Maybe here a darker tone. That's right where the sternum is. This, okay, I'll leave you with this. These are pecs, right? We all know pectoralis major. That's very good. These are the abs right here. We all know the abs. This one right here, this beautiful neck muscle. These two, they're also my favorite muscles. These are the clitomastoids, right? They have that name because it's attaching to the sternum. The other the other two words in that muscle name is the other two places it attaches to, whatever. Hilarious. All right. I hadn't even colored eyes yet, meaning like that's gonna glow and stuff, you know? So yeah, we just keep going, making things darker and giving them form in the process. I'll tone this side as well a little bit. Okay. Well, this is it for my very first YouTube stream. This is not done yet, but at least we got the flats and the shades done. Then later, gotta get the bow and a few other things. And okay, let's look for phase 2. See you all later. Thank you for joining me tonight.